Hello princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we're going to look at two brand new eye palettes from Dior Backstage. We have the new Bronze Neutral palette and the new Plum Neutrals palette. I, as you see, couldn't decide, so I bought both, and hopefully that will help you decide for yourself. We are going to look at them, swatch them in two different lights. We're going to do two different looks, and we're going to talk about my thoughts. Okay, so these are the brand new Dior Backstage. I am a huge fan of Dior Backstage, and if you know about these palettes, if you've collected them in the past, these won't be too much of a surprise other than the fact that they branch out just a little bit and take that kind of theme that Dior Backstage palettes always have of kind of cool, neutral, and warm basics, and they elevate that just a little bit. Each palette is in American dollars, $49 each, and these two are both new and limited edition. Now, before we get into the swatches, I do want to say I'm so sorry to repeat myself if you've been with my channel for a while. If you haven't, hello, nice to meet you. I am a fashion and beauty editor by day, so I like to throw in all these little journalistic tidbits along the way, not to speak down to anyone who already knows, of course, but just to make it a little bit more fun for all of us. Before we get into these swatches, you should know some of the names behind your favorite makeup brands. The creative director for Dior Makeup, the one who decides on the looks for the runway shows and the looks that we then purchase in store, is named Peter Phillips. He has been the creative director for Dior Makeup for quite a few years now. We'll get into that in a second because I have a little quiz for you. But you should know that he was with Chanel doing their makeup line till about 2008. So the Chanel makeup products that you know and love now, that turn of it was kind of given birth by Peter Phillips when he was with Chanel. So you can thank him for that. And he has come and done so much at Dior. Now this is where the quiz comes in. Peter Phillips took over the position of creative director for the makeup collection in 2014. Comment below if you know who he replaced at Dior. In other words, until 2014, when Peter Phillips replaced her, there's your hint, who was it who did all of the creative direction for the makeup at Dior and the runway shows? Do you know? Don't cheat by looking below, but comment below if you know. Let's play some quiz music. He replaced Pat McGrath. Yes, he did. He replaced Pat McGrath. She did this job before he did it. Kind of interesting. Thought you might want to know that. Okay, let's take a look at these two palettes. We are going to start here with the Bronze Neutrals. Let's take a look at the Bronze Neutrals in the pan. My grubby fingers have been in there already. I'm so sorry. As usual, we have the typical Dior Backstage embossed Dior, which I've kind of ruined. I'm sorry about that. And we also have, if you're familiar with these palettes, you'll know the primer. This is kind of a cream primer that I do not swatch. As you see, it's a little bit kind of pale, but it really dissolves well into the eye. And in the demo, which I'm going to have music set to so I can speed it up a bit, I do apply that by tapping it on with my finger, but you could use a brush if you'd rather. It is just a cream primer product that Peter Phillips introduced to just make the makeup go on smoother and to help it stay, and that is standard in the Dior Backstage palette. So there is the Bronze Neutrals in the pan. Here is Bronze Neutrals on my arm in studio lighting, so take a look at that there. And you can see all the beautiful shades. I will write the shades on the screen when I use them so that you can see during the demo, so have no fear there. Now let's look at the Plum Neutrals in the pan. Again, we start with our cream primer in the corner there, and then we have the one shade with no embossing, and the rest have the Dior embossing on them. Again, very common for the Dior Backstage palettes. I left the Bronze Neutrals on my arm, and over the top I put the Plum Neutrals, so you could take a look. Remember, we said that the Dior Backstage palettes do enjoy kicking up the neutrals. That's kind of the point of these palettes. They're very wearable everyday products. Now let's hop outside into the warm California sunshine and take a look at both of these palettes on my arm outside. We have bronze neutrals on the bottom and plum neutrals on the top just over it. So take a look at those two. That way you can get a better look at what these look like outside of studio or indoor lighting, just outside in the sunshine. What I'd like to do now is go to just a little montage of me applying both. Right now, as you can see probably, I am enjoying and wearing the plum neutrals look, but let's see how I got these looks. Very, very quick looks. I might speed up little portions of it here and there, but for the most part, I'm quick, and this is in real time, so stay right there. I have added now to the Plum Neutrals palette some Pat McGrath eyeliner in shade. I thought that was only appropriate. And this is Victoria Beckham's Future Lash mascara that I have also put on with it, and I am really enjoying these palettes. These are really fun for someone like me who appreciates neutrals, and so many of you out there. It just takes these neutrals and elevates it into very wearable, easy palettes with the primer, with shades that could be used to make all sorts of eye looks as well. You can dip a little bit of a slightly wet brush in there and get a nice eyeliner from some of the darker shades in these palettes as well, which a lot of people do, or just really emphasize the outer portions of the eye. There's so many looks that you can do with this, from runway, as Dior uses it for, all the way to everyday. Let me know if you were interested in picking any of this up. So many of us collect these and have them all. Have you added these to your collection? I am so curious. And if you picked up one, the other, or you're a sucker like me and you picked up both. I am a sucker for anything Dior Backstage. I sometimes skip Dior palettes, but Dior Backstage, oh, those products never pass me by. I just love them. So let me know what you think as well. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I sure hope that you did. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.